It says, Babu Taswiyah to Sufuf, the chapter of making taswiyah. And the word taswiyah has several meanings. Sometimes the word taswiyah means to straighten. Sometimes the word taswiyah means to fix, which is related to straighten. And sometimes the word taswiyah pertains to perfecting, which also is attached to straightening. Something that's supposed to be what? Straight. You break your arm. You go to the doctor and say, fix me, doc. He does what with your arm? Laha. What is he supposed to do, Saleh? The bone is supposed to be what? With the sound effect. Everybody understand this or not? The cast is made to do what? Not keep it straight. To put it back into its straightness. Because it was broken. Everybody understand this? So, fixing something, straightening something, perfecting something are all in one what? Ring. One circle. Everybody clear this or not? So, to perfect something. Everybody clear this or not? So it says, Babu taswiyah to sufuf, to make taswiyah of the rows and of the ranks. As we know, every Muslim knows that Muslims are supposed to pray in what? Rows and ranks. Everybody clear on this? In this chapter, the author is saying that you have to do what? Straighten those rows, perfect those rows, fix those rows. Everybody clear on this or not? The correct view is that straightening the rows is not an option. It's not a preference. It's mandatory. As was the madhab of Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah, explained by Hafiz ibn Hajar and Fath al-Bari. And that the Prophet ﷺ's statement, if you don't straighten your rows, then ... clearly proves that that thing is no longer what? Recommended. How could it be recommended? And there's a threat for Allah to change your faces. Another narration says that Allah will separate your faces. Just like the hadith about the donkey. If you lift your head before the Imam, go down before the Imam, Allah could change your face to a donkey for something that's only makruh. Everybody clear this now? It's only what? It's only recommended. No, that is no longer strong. So the madhab of Imam al-Bukhari and of others, they have the view that straightening the rows is what? Mandatory. And the Imam who does not straighten the rows is sinful. He's atham. Most of the ulama held the view that straightening the rows is only recommended. It's not obligatory. Now you may say this, why? Why do they say that it's only recommended? They say because they say what? فَإِنَّ تَسْفِيَةَ الصُّفُوفِ مِنْ إِقَامَةِ الصَّلَاةِ. They say because straightening the rows is from the iqamah of the salah. Min itmam as-salah. Min tamam as-salah. Perfecting the salah. And it's not necessarily what? Essentially what? Mandatory. Obviously that doesn't make any sense. Whereas Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ. Establish the prayer. The prayer being mandatory. Congregation being mandatory. The Prophet said, do your khushu' correctly. Do this, do that. Because I can see you. So there's certain things that we are made to perfect. It doesn't mean that it's optional anymore. And there's certain things which are subrogatory. Which are what? Subrogatory. And they are optional. And this also means of what? Perfection. Or completion. Everybody understand this or not? Or what? Completion. Everybody understand this or not? Having paint on your wall, is that mandatory? Do you need that to live in the house or the apartment? Having paint on your wall? No. But having a wall is, you have to protect you from the heat, from the wind, from the rain, the cold. So the builder says, I've completed the building. It's what? It's complete. Meaning he built the walls, he put in the beams and everything. He's completed it. And another says, I've done what? I've completed or perfected it. Meaning the paint, the decoration, kullu shay. Everybody understand this or not? One thing doesn't mean that the other thing isn't obligatory. Everybody clear on this or not? So the correct view is that the rows must be what? Straightened. For two things. The first reason why is that the Prophet ﷺ commanded for it to be done. So, it's a fi'l amr. Secondly is, the Prophet ﷺ informed us of the consequence of not doing it, which is not a slight and easy thing, for one's face to be altered, or one's face and one's heart to be separated from his brother's face and heart. Everybody clear on this or not? So that's the correct view with regards to that in brief. The next issue is, how is one to straighten the rows? And we have a third dalil as well, whereas that was what the Sahaba did. When the Prophet gave that command, they implemented that. They started, they moved towards it. Everybody understand this or not? And there are many athar of the Salaf al-Salih with regards to straightening the rows. And they wouldn't need the salah. They wouldn't start the salah until the rows were straight, until they were fixed. Umar radiallahu anhu used to send a man to check each row. Everybody understand this in other narrations as well. That's in brief. That's what? In brief. Now, how do you straighten the rows? Do you have to put your heel next to your brother's heel? Does you have to put your shoulder next to your brother's shoulder? What's meant by leaving no gaps between you and your brother? No gaps between the heels, or meaning of big gaping gap. Everybody understand this? And that's another issue as well with regards to leaving no gaps. Because straightening the row does not mean what? Leaving no gaps. Leaving gaps does not necessarily mean what? Straightening the row. Everybody understand this? However, we're studying hadiths from Bukhari and Muslim. So we take in what's selected from Bukhari and Muslim. The other narrations in Sahih Bukhari, in Sahih Muslim, and Sunan Abi Dawood that talk about other issues are not going to come up in this book, as we have explained many, many times before. Everybody clear on this or not? So the row could have no gaps, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's what? Straight. And the row could be straight as an arrow, but it may have what? Gaps. The other hadiths teach us that we are to also fix the what? The gaps as well. Everybody clear on this? So what is meant by this? A gap. Does it mean that there's a tangible hole, a separation between you and your brother, your feet and his shoulder? Or for the toes to be connected like this and there to be space between the heels? Is that a gap? This is also another issue, unfortunately, that has become one of great controversy. Great controversy. And we have people who are zealots on both sides. People who, waliyadhu billah, you try to get close to them, they'll walk away from you in the salah. Now listen here to what ignorance does to the one who has it. Or as some of the older brothers from Guyana say, they say first class ignorance. A person, he has a phone. The phone is ringing. On the phone is some crazy musical tone, a hit, a hot single, right? Going off in the salah. Tayyib. He doesn't move. He can't silence the phone. He can't send the call to voicemail because it's haram to do what? Move in the salah. But you try to put your foot next to him and he'll do what? Maybe the electric slide in the one, in the salah. He'll totally what? Just get away from you quickly. Okay, so you're praying and they say, oh, subhanAllah, maybe he didn't see me, or maybe he had an itch. And you move a little closer and there's what? He moves again. Tayyib, everybody understand this or not? Now, the brother who continues to move his foot, should he do that? That's not a discussion. Is he right or wrong? But the fact is, he keeps moving and the brother keeps getting what? Further and further away. I have to move not to keep my foot from touching his foot, but the phone ringing is what? Haram. I have to be, everybody, it's first class what? Ignorance. There's second class, there's business class, this is not. First class ignorance. And there are many other examples of this. There are many other what? Examples of this. Everybody understand this? The Muslims, unfortunately, they go so extreme lengths in so many things. And that actual thing that they're going extreme in is the exact opposite. But the thing they're supposed to, they what? Easy. Everybody understand this? So, we have some brothers, when they pray, they have maybe 3 or 4 inches between them and their brothers. And if you try to put your foot, you're extreme, you're Wahhabi, you're this, you're that, you're that. They give you a list of names and titles, unfortunately. And then we have other brothers, they may have the exact opposite practice. That straightening the rows and leaving no gaps means to step on your brother's foot. To literally step on his toes, to put your heel on his heel. Or to physically move in the salah and force the brother to fix his foot. Or they'll grab you. Everybody understand this? And physically enforce the straightening rows upon a person who doesn't want to do that according to his understanding. The toes may be together, but no, the heels have to be together. And he forces it and jams his way on his brother's foot. Everybody understand this? Or the concept of another mistake with regards to this issue is the widespread ignorance of people who are not supposed to straighten the rows. The imam's job is to straighten the rows and to make the final look. When you're in the salah, or before the salah, labats, you make sure your foot, the imam says, istawu, tarasu, i'tadilu, labats. He's speaking to you, straighten your rows. But it's not your job, akhi, you move over. Wait, hold on, 1 second. No, you come up. Many brothers, they do this. That is the job of the what? The imam. Your job is to make sure that your right foot and your left foot are straight without a gap to the best of your ability. The next man, the third, the fourth, the fifth is the job of the what? The imam. Everybody understand this? And another mistake is for the imam not to make a deputy. He should entrust someone to check the what? The other rows. He may have 20 people, 20 rows, 50, 100 people, maybe Juma, Eid. And he needs to assign a brother to do what? Check the row. So this goes to show us that you should know who you're praying with. You should know your brothers by their kunyas, by their names. Abu Abdurrahman, Kada. And the brothers that are praying with you in your community should have the basic what? Fiqh. Not too harsh, not too soft. Not too gentle, not too violent. But a perfect what? Balance of this is the sunnah. And if you have a problem with it because of your culture or your madhab, that's what? That's fine. But here in this masjid, this is what we're going to do. We can't impose it on you. We can't force it on you. But there are certain things that we are responsible for what? For doing, huh? It's not from the sunnah to just go and be rambunctious. But it is your masjid, so it's like your what? It's my house. I'm the imam here. These are the rules. If you don't like it, I'm not going to hit you or kick you or spit on you. But I'm going to say, Akhi, can you please move over? Inshallah. And if I see that you're stubborn, you don't want to do it, la bas. But it is my job, my responsibility to do what? And enforce certain things within my jurisdiction. Within my what? My jurisdiction. It's very important, guys. And not to overstep my jurisdiction, nor to neglect it. Everybody understand? So the imam is supposed to straighten the rows. You make sure that your foot is right. And the imam's job is with regards to the rest. Everybody understand this?